You can make what you want of this story. To me, it's meaningful. To me, there is something at play that I can't explain, but I'm just going to go with it. Okay, so about 4 years ago, I was on a road trip in the region. I think I was coming back from Vermont for something. And I went through this part of western New Hampshire, somewhere between Keene and Charlestown. And there was a twisty road. I forget what town I was in. But on a curve, there was a house that had a whole bunch of windows on it. There was like dozens, scores, maybe even like 100 or more windows. Not like windows on the building, but rather like whoever lived there, maybe they used to be a window installer. And these are the leftover windows. And they either given them away or they were dirt cheap. I can't remember that detail. But I remembered I wanted to go back so I could use the windows to make cold frames. So a month later, 6 weeks later, I went back looking for it and I couldn't find the place. And I kept driving around like this is probably where it was. No, I can't find it. It's like it was in another universe. Kind of gave up on it. Damn, I really wish I remembered where that was so I could go get those windows. So time goes by, and yesterday someone posted to our local Facebook group, they're giving away windows. So I go there, I pick up 6 windows, and they're not fragile like pieces of glass. It's actually, they're in a vinyl frame, which is nice. And I take them home and I put them away, and next spring I could use them as cold frames. Might even use them in the fall. I'm not sure what kind of quick crops I can grow in the fall, but maybe I can find a sunny spot that I can keep reasonably warm and use the cold frame. And then I'm thinking about the fact that I need rain gutters. I'm taking into account the things I need to do to prepare just for the basics in case the power goes out, such as having a supply of water, and catching the rain's the obvious way to do that. And also, I'd like to water the garden. Like, rather than use the hose to water the garden, if I could funnel it off the roof of the shed even, and then just run that water down to the garden area, I keep the garden watered, right? Be less effort. And so someone's given away a bunch of stuff, including rain gutters. They're a little beat up or whatever. I went there and I got them. They're 12 feet long. I stick them in the trunk of my car. I'm struggling to get my back seat open. For some reason, I can only push down one of the 2 seats. But I get it down and I push them through. They're 12 feet long. They're rubbing up against the windshield and scratching it up, which is just whatever. White paint, plastic, whatever. It's going to come off. I'll wash it when I get home. But it was stacked up next to, like, shoulder high next to me. So I'm thinking, okay, as I'm driving out of there, because if a cop sees me with this big thing next to me, if he can look into my car and see that, he might suspect, reasonable suspicion, that I am driving with my view obstructed and pull me over. So around the bend comes 2 police cruisers just then, crawling like 5 miles an hour. This is like a backwoods village district, and you can go 15 or 20 though. But anyways, they're going slow, like they're looking for someone or something or whatever. I'm like, whatever. If they turn the blues on, we'll deal with it. Otherwise, we'll just keep going. So I kept going. No one pulled me over. I get home. I deposit my rain gutters. I write a thank you note to the guy who was giving them away, and then he also had some hoops there, some PVC pipes bent into hoops that you could use in your garden. So I said, well, I could use a little greenhouse in my growing space too. So I went back, I got 6 hoops. And so on the course of a couple days, I got the windows I wanted, I got the rain gutters I wanted, I got the hoops I wanted. And finally, something's going my way. Now, it could just be coincidence. And just having things is enough. You have to do something with them, right? Now, I don't need a greenhouse now because it's getting warm. However, it will be useful next spring, probably. I could start growing some stuff early. Between the cold frames and the greenhouse, that'd be good. And using the rain gutters, I can have water for the garden. I can even run some of my roof water into buckets or whatever, right? That kind of thing. So we have some water. And it's better than I'm expecting just more and more obstacles to get in my way. Like last time I talked about it. I'll link to it up here. For some reason, the title cards aren't working very good, so I'll put it in the description. I did a video where I talked about how when I ever seem to get myself on the right track, and this is what seems like the right track in life, some woman, or more than one woman, start hitting on me. And then that day, 2 women hit on me when I was out and about in my chores. And like, women don't hit on me, and I was weirded. I'm like, here we go. You're trying to derail me. Like, I'm getting my life together, and you have to come hit on me. Great. So I'm grateful, extremely grateful that instead of an obstacle, I had an opportunity present itself. And now I have to make the best of it, right? It's one thing to have the goods, nothing to use them. You know, like anyone else. Someone says, "Yo, I have all this." Someone says they got firearms or whatever, like for home defense, but they never ever take them out. They never learn how to disassemble them, reassemble them, load them. They never go to the shooting range to practice handling them. It's just, here's the gun. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of practice, but you'd think you'd want to be familiar at least somewhat, like basic familiarity with handling a firearm before you say, this is what I'm keeping for home defense or something, you know. And just having things, right, you know, or whatever. You have your bucket, you have a bucket of preserved food, you know, but if you're not storing it in the right climate, if you're not checking the climate, you're storing it, and it turns out it spoils. It's supposed to last 20 years in a certain humidity level and a certain temperature level, but you're not regulating the temperature, you're not regulating the humidity, so the shit spoils in 5 years. And you're on year 6 and you go like, oh, I need the emergency food. You go in there and it's all moldy. Like, you know, it's one thing to have things, but you have to like know how to use the things. So likewise, as much as I'm happy about the cold frames and the hoops and the rain gutters, I got to put them into work, which means the rain gutter's useless if it's not hooked up to a building. So note to self, ASAP, hook up rain gutters to building. Note to self, have a plan for the spring for cold frames. That's all I got to say. Thanks for watching.